Hello everyone, this is Michelle. Welcome back to my channel, and this is the second video of my little flip out journal that I had created previously. In the previous video I asked you guys if you wanted me to do a series on this journal. I have not posted that video yet as I'm recording this, so I don't know what your answer is, but I also mentioned in that video that I did do some decorating and I would make a video of that. So here we go, so long while I wait for your feedback. That little piece of fabric that I used before to mop up my gel plate, I am just adding a little bit of marks to it with my fingers, with my paintbrush, some splatters, just really adding a little bit more color and interest. At this stage, I'm not too concerned about what it looks like because I knew that I would be cutting it up into different shapes and sizes. So right now, I'm not too concerned about that. So I'm starting off by doing a stamp, a flower stamp. This is an Art by Marlene stamp. And I know that I said that this journal is going to be more of a use what you have kind of journal. So not really branded, but I have this flower stamp, so that's what I'm using. If you've got a different flower stamp, then use that. If you don't want to use flowers at all, that's fabulous too. I have these little needle points, tubes, bottles of paint that I have. So it's just paint mixed with a little bit of water to make them flowy. And I just traced around that flower with the blue and with the neon orange. I'm doing some scribbles. Now I'm doing some scribbles with the blue. I do have a whole range of colors for this in these bottles. So you'll see them popping up every now and again. Some of my paints in them have dried, so I'm thinking I should maybe replace it with acrylic flow paint. I think that could work well. I also had a little scripty text looking stamp. Again, it's not a branded one, so I just have it lying around. It's one of my favorites. And so I just added a little bit of stamping just for, again, extra texture, extra interest. And now I'm just going to go in and doodle some shapes on this little triangle, on this rectangle that I made, and adding a little bit of mark making. I had no idea where this was going to go. I was just kind of playing around and seeing what's happening, and just, letting loose. So I have the flower and I have that little branchy bit. I also, when I cut that branchy bit, I did a little scallopy edge on the side there that I thought was quite nice. And I'm going to try and fill these pockets. I think this pocket will evolve and what is in it will evolve. Perhaps this tag will end up on one of my pages instead of the pocket. I don't think the tag is finished either. I was just really letting my hand move. Sometimes when I don't have an idea, most times I don't have an idea what I'm doing. But on this particular day, I really didn't know what am I doing with, what elements do I want? Do I want to fill the pockets? Do I want to play on the pages? I just wanted to keep my hand moving. I often find at the end of the day, if I haven't been at my desk painting something, creating even the tiniest little thing, I feel quite unfulfilled for the day, like something's missing. And I just wanted to not have that happen on this day. So I bought this pack of doilies. My gosh, they are beautiful. They are much bigger than I thought that they would be. On the description when I bought it, I'm sure it said it was smaller, but here came these giant doilies. But they are so intricate. So my plan for this one particularly is to just cut out the different shapes that I can see. I'm obviously not going to use this giant doily as a whole in my journal because it's way too big. So before I'm cutting it up, I am adding some neon paints just with the sponge. Obviously the doily soaks it up and they can get quite brittle. So if you do ever paint your doilies, make sure that you don't drench it with paint, and also make sure that you are quite careful with it. One of my favorite things to do with doilies is actually to paint them black. I don't know if you've ever seen a black doily, but they are beautiful. That kind of lacy, fine pattern works so well with that stark darkness of the black. So definitely one of my favorite things. Okay, I decided that the center of this doily I'm going to pop onto the card, and then I thought maybe I'd add a little button, but the buttons that I had didn't really quite work for me. So I decided I'm just going to sew this doily onto this tag, and I think eventually, I realized soon enough that it would be wiser for me to just poke the holes in first than try and faff about with trying to find where the needle has to go through. And I'm just tying it off at the back there. And I think it's maybe I added a little, I did add a little bit of a ribbon or a fabric or something at the top there, just to make sure it does look like a tag. There's nothing that, I lie, there's a lot of things, but I'm really bothered about tags not having a little ribbon or a string of some sort at the top there. So I'll always tie something on there, or I'll just snip that top off. This extra little bit I'm going to sew onto a little card. This is a craft card. I bought a whole box of it for some reason, sometime, I don't know when or where, and they've always been kind of floating about. So every now and then I pull one out and do something with it. And today was this guy's lucky day. So again, I'm just sewing really, really roughly that little piece of fabric that I had painted earlier. And I'm extending the scribbles that are on that fabric onto the card. So there was some blue scribbles on there and some white mark making. And then it just looks a bit more like that those two pieces belong together. So for now, that is where they will be sitting, waiting for me to decide what to do with it. And I really wanted to have this flower on the front cover, and I decided to draw in a couple of leaves. Again, I'm not sure if the cover will stay this way. I suspect that I might change it a little bit. Obviously, the flower is there. It's stuck there now. But I might add some other elements at some point in time. This is definitely going to be a journal that's going to evolve with time, and hopefully what is inside the pages will be reflected on the covers as well. This little pocket was looking a little bit bare, so I've just added some white paint through a stencil, and just to, add a little something. I love having numbers on my work. I think numbers look really nice. And I don't do math at all, so I don't know why I love numbers so much, but I do. And then I'm just finishing off with a little bit of trimmed out doily as well. Again, I don't think that's finished. It will definitely become a little bit more interesting as time goes by. Going to add a little bit of stamping there, and I also wanted to add a little rough leaf edge to the front cover of this first flap. So I just sewed it in, and I'm thinking, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And this is what I'm going to do. I've got some white paint out, and I'm going to paint some little wildflowers. I don't know what these flowers are called. Maybe they could be chamomile. I don't know. I just really, really love the shape of them. I think, and it's so simple to make them. They are easy shapes to draw, and they just look really, really effective. So I've gone in with my Amsterdam acrylic. It's the whitest white paper that I've ever been able to find. And I just painted those in, and then I'll go around with, first I'll go in with my Tim Holtz watercolor pencils, and I'm just doing a touch of it. So I'm not trying to color the whole flower because I still want it to be more white, but the colors that are on top of it will be more like a shadowy kind of color. Looking for my Stabilo oil pencil there. And then I'm just going to loosely outline all of those, but you'll see I'm holding my pencil right at the back there, trying to make my lines as loose as possible. And I really like these little flaps that I did. So on this side, I did the, let's call them chamomile flowers. I don't know. If you know what flower that is, let me know. Clearly, I'm not a gardener. And then on this side, I'm making these little seed pods. I think they are poppy seeds. I've been drawing this shape for years and years with different mediums, and I've always loved this shape. So I thought, well, since I love the shape so much, and I actually haven't drawn one of these in a very long time, I thought that I would create a couple of those. And then first I will fight a little bit with my black paint in this bottle, but eventually I got there. We got there in the end. Okay, so that is the little outline of it. And how cute does that look? I love them. I really, really love this shape. I'm making little scribbles as well to make sure that it's finished off. And I'm giving that a quick dry. Obviously this paint is quite wet and textured, so it does take a little bit of time to dry. All right, that's it for today. Thank you for watching. Let me know if you've started making your own journal like this yet. I love to hear from you. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. And I will chat to you again very soon. Okay, bye.